Hey guys, so today we are going to watch the State of the Union um, delivery by Trump. And the State of the Union address is an annual message delivered by the President of the United States to a joint session of the United States Congress near the beginning of most calendar years on current conditions of the nation. It talks about the budget, the economy, achievements the president's made, new agendas. It fulfills the requirements in Article 2, Section 3, Clause 1 of the U.S. Constitution that the President shall from time to time give to the Congress information of the State of the Union, recommend to their consideration such measures as we shall judge necessary and expedient. During the country's first century, the president primarily submitted only a written report to Congress. But after 1913, Woodrow Wilson, the 28th U.S. president, began the regular practice of delivering the address to Congress in person as a way to rally support the president's agenda while also submitting a more detailed report. With the advent of radio and television, the address is now broadcast live in all United States time zones on many networks. This speech is usually given January to February or February. An invitation to the president is extended to the U.S. to use the chamber of the House by the Speaker of the House. Starting in 1981, Ronald Reagan, the 40th U.S. president, began the practice of newly inaugurated presidents delivering an address to Congress in the first year of their term, but not designating that speech an official State of the Union. Formalities. The practice arises from a duty of the president under the State of the Union Clause of the U.S. Constitution, which they just talked about, Article 2, Section 3 of the U.S. Constitution. The language of the clause is not specific. Since the 1930s, the president has made this report annually in late January or early February between 1934 and 2024. The date has been as early as January 3rd and as late as March 7th. While not required to deliver a speech, every president since Woodrow Wilson, with the notable exception of Herbert Hoover, has made at least one State of the Union report as a speech delivered before a joint session of Congress. Before then, most presidents delivered the State of the Union as a written report. The history of it is that George Washington delivered the first regular annual message before a joint session of Congress on January 8th in New York City, then the provisional U.S. Capitol in 1801. Thomas Jefferson discontinued the practice of delivering the address in person, regarding it as too monarchical, similar to the speech from the throne. Instead, what's the speech from the throne? Oh, the speech from the throne is an event in certain monarchs in which the reigning sovereign or their representative reads a prepared speech to the members of the nation's legislature when a session is opened. The address sets forth the government's priorities for its legislative agenda for which the cooperation of the legislature is sought. The speech is often accompanied by a formal ceremony. It is often held annually, although in some places it may occur more or less frequently whenever a new session of the legislature is opened. So we're back to talking about the history of the State of the Union. Instead, the address was written and sent to Congress to be read by a clerk until 1913, when Woodrow Wilson reestablished the practice despite some initial controversy. An in-person address to Congress has been delivered nearly every year since. There have been exceptions to this rule, with some messages being given solely in writing and others given both in writing and orally, either in a speech to Congress or through broadcast media. The last president to give a written message without a spoken address was Jimmy Carter in 1981, days before his term ended after his defeat by Ronald Reagan. For many years, the speech was referred to as the presidential annual message to Congress. The actual term State of the Union first emerged in 1934 when Franklin D. Roosevelt used the phrase because it generally accepted name becoming its generally accepted name since 1947. Prior to 1934, the annual message was delivered at the end of the calendar year in December. The ratification of the Amendment, or January 23rd, 1933, changed the opening of Congress from early March to early January, affecting the delivery of the annual message. Since 1934, the message or address has been delivered to Congress early in the calendar year. So that just gives you a little bit of history of what it is, in case anybody else was curious. So let's get started. I shaved off a couple of 25 minutes, so it's going to be a solid 2 hours. They were kind of clapping, meeting, getting ready, situated. The media's out there, so we didn't miss anything of the speech. I feel like this is the beginning of church.
Free cookie for life.
Tired of cooking for one? Watch this. 3 reasons why.
It looks really tight in there. Oh my gosh. No,
Anniversary of our.
sorry.
Second Lady of the United States. Members of Congress and my fellow Americans, our nation is back, bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before. Less than 5 months from now, our country will celebrate an epic milestone in American history, the 250th anniversary of our glorious American independence. This July 4th, we will mark 2.5 centuries of liberty and triumph, progress and freedom, in the most incredible and exceptional nation ever to exist on the face of the earth. And you've seen nothing yet. We're going to do better and better and better. This is the golden age of America. When I last spoke in this chamber 12 months ago, I had just inherited a nation in crisis with a stagnant economy, inflation at record levels, a wide open border, horrendous recruitment for military and police, rampant crime at home, and wars and chaos all over the world. But tonight, after just 1 year, I can say with dignity and pride that we have achieved a transformation like no one has ever seen before, and a turnaround for the ages. It is indeed a turnaround for the ages. And we will never go back to where we were just a very short time ago. We're not going back. Today, our border is secure.
Why do I feel like it's like a football
Thank you.
game?
Today, our border is secure. Our spirit is restored. Inflation is plummeting. Incomes are rising fast. The roaring economy is roaring like never before. And our enemies are scared. Our military and police are stacked. And America is respected again, perhaps like never before. After 4 years in which millions and millions of illegal aliens poured across our borders, totally unvetted and unchecked, we now have the strongest and most secure border in American history by far. In the past 9 months, 0 illegal aliens have been admitted to the United States. But we will always allow people to come in legally, people that will love our country and will work hard to maintain our country. The flow of deadly fentanyl across our border is down by a record 56% in 1 year. And last year, the murder rate saw its single largest decline in recorded history. This is the biggest decline, think of it, in recorded history, the lowest number in over 125 years, year 1900. In fact, substantially before my wonderful father, I had a wonderful father, Fred, before he was born, substantially before he was born. That's a long time ago. He wouldn't like me to say that, but that's a long time ago. The Biden administration and its allies in Congress gave us the worst inflation in the history of our country. But in 12 months, my administration has driven core inflation down to the lowest level in more than 5 years. And in the last 3 months of 2025, it was down to 1.7%. Gasoline, which reached a peak of over $6 a gallon in some states under my predecessor, it was quite honestly a disaster, is now below $2.30 a gallon in most states, and in some places, $1.99 a gallon. And when I visited the great state of Iowa just a few weeks ago, I even saw $1.85 a gallon for gasoline.
But what about that gallon of milk, though? I mean, never mind.
Mortgage rates are the lowest in 4 years and falling fast, and the annual cost of a typical new mortgage is down almost $5,000 just since I took office. 1 year. And low interest rates will solve the Biden-created housing problem while at the same time protecting the values of those people who already own a house that really feel rich for the first time in their lives. We want to protect those values. We want to keep those values up. We're going to do both. And we are going to keep it that way. The stock market has set 53 all-time record highs since the election. Think of that. 1 year. Boosting pensions, 401ks, and retirement accounts for the millions and millions of Americans. They're all gaining. Everybody's up, way up. In 4 long years, the last administration got less than $1 trillion in new investment in the United States. And when I say less, substantially less. In 12 months, I secured commitments for more than $18 trillion pouring in from all over the globe. Think of it, much less than $1 trillion for 4 years versus much more than $18 trillion for 1 year. What a difference a president makes. A short time ago, we were a dead country. Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world, the hottest.
I mean, that's a bit much.
As thousands of new businesses are forming in factories, plants, and laboratories are being built, we have added 70,000 new construction jobs in just a very short period of time. It's getting bigger and bigger and stronger. Nobody can believe what they're watching. American oil production is up by more than 600,000 barrels a day, and we just received from our new friend and partner, Venezuela, more than 80 million barrels of oil. American natural gas production is at an all-time high because I kept my promise to drill, baby, drill. More Americans are working today than at any time in the history of our country. Think about that. Any time in the history of our country, more working today. And 100% of all jobs created under my administration have been in the private sector. We ended DEI in America. We cut a record number of job-killing regulations, and in 1 year, we have lifted 2.4 million Americans, a record, off of food stamps.
Lift it or do you cut it?
And for all of these reasons, I say tonight, members of Congress, the state of our union is strong. People are asking me, please, 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 Mr. President, we're winning too much. We can't take it anymore. We're not used to winning in our country. Until you came along, we're just always losing, but now we're winning too much. And I say, no, 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 you're going to win again. You're going to win big. You're going to win bigger than ever. And to prove that point, here with us tonight is a group of winners who just made the entire nation proud. The men's gold medal Olympic hockey team. Come on in. Go ahead. That's the first time I've ever seen them get up. And actually, not all of them did get up. But they beat a fantastic Canadian team in overtime, as everybody saw, as did the American women who will soon be coming to the White House. They were in the Oval Office before, and I just want to say a second very big congratulations to Team USA. But I have to say that, and I told them this, and we took a vote of the team. I said, anybody votes no, I'm not doing it. So they stood there, and they weren't about to say no, because I've never seen a goaltender play as well as goalie Connor Hellebuck. Think of it, 46 shots on goal, and I asked him, the one shot, the one where you put your stick in the back and it hit the neck of your stick and bounced off, do you practice that, or was that a little lucky? He refused to answer that question. But I just want to tell you that the members of this great hockey squad will be very happy to hear, based on their vote and my vote, and in this case, my vote was more important, that I will soon be presenting Connor with our highest civilian honor, which we will be given and which has been given to many athletes over the years. But when I say many, not too many, like 12, it's called the highest civilian honor in our country, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. The one shot, the one where you put your stick in the back and it hit the neck of your stick and bounced off. You practiced that, or was that a little lucky? He refused to answer that question. But I just want to tell you that the members of this great hockey squad will be very happy to hear, based on their vote and my vote, and in this case, my vote was more important, that I will soon be presenting Connor with our highest civilian honor, which we will be given and which has been given to many athletes over the years. But when I say many, not too many, like 12, it's called the highest civilian honor in our country, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Great athletes have gotten that, very great, the best, and I thought he deserved it. And I did take a vote, every single one of them. I said, I'm not giving it if anybody goes no, and every single one of them rapidly put up their hand. So I want to thank you. What a special job you did. What special champions you are. Thank you very much. I'm also pleased to say that the next time the Olympic torch is lit, it will be here in America for the 2028 Olympics, and it's the summer version right in Los Angeles. We're going to do a good job in Los Angeles. And Los Angeles is going to be safe, just like Washington, D.C. is now one of the safest cities in the country. And this year, and I must say I got them both. I got them in my first term, and I was disappointed because I didn't think I'd be the president when this happened. But strange things took place. And now I've got them because I got the Olympics and I got the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And I wanted to claim the 250th, but I didn't get away with that one. I couldn't claim that one for myself. But we're getting the World Cup. So we have the World Cup and the Olympics coming. And that is exciting news. So this will be a year to celebrate our country and the heroes who have kept it free. Men like Buddy Taggart. At age 17, Buddy volunteered to defend America in World War II, serving in the Pacific under the great General Douglas MacArthur. He fought bravely in the famous Battle of Manila, worked so hard. He was badly wounded and almost killed by enemy machine guns in Luzon. And 81 years ago this month, he liberated the largest internment camp in the Philippines, one of the largest anywhere in the world. But he earned many honors, including a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star, came home, started a family, and tonight he is in the gallery looking forward to July 4th, 2026, his 100th birthday. So, buddy, you're a brave man, and we salute you. Even in times of challenge, setback, and immense heartache, the spirit of 1776 has always shone through very brightly. It was July 4th of last year when floodwaters tore through a girls' summer camp in Central Texas. One of the worst things I've ever seen. I was there, rising 26 feet in the matter of minutes, tragically claiming many, many lives. You all remember that one? As the waters threatened to sweep her away, 11-year-old Millie Kate McClelland closed her eyes and prayed to God. She thought she was going to die. Those prayers were answered when Coast Guard rescue swimmer Scott Ruskin descended from a helicopter above. Nobody knew where he came from. It was Scott's first ever rescue mission, a young guy, but very brave, very, very top, always top in his class. And he lifted not just Millie Kate, but 164 others to safety. People watched Scott from a distance, and they couldn't believe what they were seeing. The winds were blowing, the rain was pouring, everything was going, and that rapid water, nobody's ever seen anything like it. They said, wow, that's something. Tonight, Scott and Millie Kate are here together, reunited for the very first time. Thank you, Scott, Millie Kate.
What if you could clean your retainer at the touch of a button? No more brushing or tablets. Over 4 years ago, our team of engineers knew there had to be a
So, really quickly, I wanted to go over like some of the stuff that he was talking about because um apparently DC he may define it as safe, but there is an issue with the water there. Um According to the Hill, um DC Water has like massive sewage spill into the Potomac. So currently, so the Potomac Interceptor, which is whatever. The Potomac Interceptor is the sanitary sewer system, which carries about 60 million gallons of wastewater daily from areas near Dulles Airport to the Potomac River. Potomac Pumping Station, DC. It flows from the pump stations. Flows from the pump stations are then sent to the Blue Plains Advanced Wastewater Treatment Plant for treatment before discharge into the Potomac River. The PI was built as a result of the enactment of Public Law 86515, the Act, by the 86 Congress on June 12, 1960. The Act authorized the District of Columbia to plan, construct, operate, and maintain a sanitary sewer to connect Dulles to the Washington, D.C. sewer system. The PI serves Fairfax, Lebanon County, Town of Vienna, Hardin, Dulles Airport, and Montgomery County, Maryland. DC Water is performing replacement and rehabilitation of the PI. So currently, wastewater is going into the main water system, which is causing, hold on. So the sewage line, which is 72 inches in diameter, carries 60 million gallons of wastewater daily from Maryland, Virginia, and DC. There was a collapse of it. Several additional overflows occurred in all DC water. Estimated 243 million gallons of sewage spilled into the Potomac River. I think there's been a lack of clarity for the public to understand who organized the oh, sorry. So they're saying we've got messages on the DOEE website that say don't go in the water, don't be exposed to the water, but no signage there. So if you're in the DC area, definitely do not go in the water because what the heck? Um oh my gosh. There were kids, so they were saying that this guy, we've got messages on DOEE website that say don't go in the water, don't be exposed to the water, but no signage there. I was in Georgetown Park this last Saturday. There were kids splashing in the water, people fishing, our crews and contractors working under very, very challenging conditions over the past month are nearing completion of an enhanced bypass system that will allow us to begin emergency repairs on the damaged section of the pipe. Now, this does nothing to the water that's being compromised now. But anyway, the bypass system is in place that directs the sewage around the broken pipe into the C&O canal and then back into the pipe. Gaddis said emergency repairs should be completed in 4 to 6 weeks. So this is flowing like continuously all day. Oh my God. Though full repairs to Potomac interceptors will take 6 to 9 months, I am also happy to report that we have not had any overflows into the Potomac River since February the 8th, he said. And with additional pumps on site, we are cautiously optimistic that we will be able to contain the flow until repairs can be completed. Issues with the Potomac interceptor at Lock 10, where the collapse occurred, were not a total surprise. Per usual. Per usual. It's never a surprise. I'm sure it was always compromised. I'm sure it's been compromised for a couple of years now. Anyways, the portion of the pipe was slated for repairs this summer. Of course they put it off. Of course. Why why would they do it? Whatever. With DC Water rating it at 3.5 in terms of severity. 3.5 out of what? That's a good question. Uh, as I thought, out of 5. Couldn't have been 10. 5. Anyways, so um this is a rating that ranks the pipe's condition, indicating a significant risk leading to an emergency resulting in over 200 million gallons of wastewater entering the river. So you would think that like 3 and above would be like an emergency or like let's do this ASAP. Not in the government world. Oh, here it is. The scale is 1 to 5, 5 being an emergency, 4 meaning it's creeping into that area, 3 meaning it's fair. So 3.5, it was fair. I, I would think that 5 would be it's just hitting the fan. Like why are we trying to get to 5? I don't understand. We knew it was something we need to put in our capital improvement plan, so we put it in our CIP program for this summer. It happened to break on us before we got to it. We had slip lined a portion of the pipe before this, and this was just the next segment of it. So we've been out there doing work on the Potomac Interceptor for some time. Slip lining is the installation of sections of new pipe inside the existing pipe. But DC is safe, which is quite relative. So essentially, like the issues that are happening at this time, that's even though they might repair what's going on now, like they can't take back like the water that they've ruined. So the other thing was he was talking about it being the golden ages, which is a period of primordial peace, harmony, stability, and prosperity. But I disagree greatly that this is a time of peace, harmony, and stability and prosperity when literally we have people getting killed left and right by people who are untrained to even do the work that they're supposed to be doing. They're not getting enough training. They're not training in firearm usage or protection of community, but like this is not the time for this to be calling this a golden age. It says during this age, peace and harmony prevailed, and that people did not have to work to feed themselves, for the earth provided food in abundance. I went into the store the other day and it was like the price. I was looking at something. What was it? And I was like $12.36. It was like I'm trying to think. It was like something a basic necessity. It wasn't milk, but like even milk right now, it's $3.25. It says in my area. $3.12. Eggs, $1.67. $3.96, sorry. $3.96. Like it's super expensive right now to live. And I feel like our current administration is like la 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 la. We don't care about the working people and how they're taking it. Also, to go back to the word thing, like I'd be very concerned for not only the kids because they're saying like there's not enough signs out there, but then also women who like all this is why we have issues that we're having now in terms of like cancers and autoimmune disease because military decisions and not investing in the communities instead. All right, we can go on.
And Petty Officer Ruskin, I'm pleased to inform you that I am now awarding you the Legion of Merit for extraordinary heroism, which is what it was, extraordinary heroism. Thank you. And I'd like to have the military aide to please come down and take care of the service. Military aide, thank you very much. Take care of that very important service. Thank you very much. From 1776 to today, every generation of Americans has stepped forward to defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And they're really doing it for the next generation. But now it's our turn. Together, we're building a nation where every child has the chance to reach higher and go further, where government answers to the people, not the powerful, and where the interests of hardworking American citizens are always our first and ultimate concern. That is the debt we owe to the heroes who came before us, and that is the promise we must keep to America for our 250th year. Last year, I urged this Congress to begin the mission by passing the largest tax cuts in American history, and our Republican majorities delivered so beautifully. Thank you, Republicans. All Democrats, every single one of them, voted against these really important and very necessary massive tax cuts. They wanted large-scale tax increases to hurt the people instead. But we held strong, and with the great, big, beautiful bill, we gave you no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. And we also made interest on auto loans tax deductible the first time, but only if the car is made in America. Recently in
This is the real me in
This is an AI replacement. The background is real.
the AI character.
Megan Hemhauser, a devoted mom who's homeschools her children, beautiful, 2 children, during the day while waiting tables at night as her husband works overtime operating very heavy equipment. Megan is here this evening, and she's happy to tell you that she is so much richer because with no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and our expanded child tax credit done again by Republicans, Megan and her husband will take home more than $5,000 extra just for the year, cutting her tax bill in more than half. Megan, please stand up. We're fighting for you, Megan. Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Megan. We're fighting for you, Megan. Under our bill, parents like Megan can also activate their children's brand new Trump accounts. And I didn't name it. I did not name it. I did not name that. Nobody believes me, but I did not name it. It was named by a very tall man sitting right there in the third row. Nice man, a good man. Tax-free investment accounts for every American child. This is something that's so special and has taken off and gone through the roof. Millions will be pre-funded courtesy of the U.S. Treasury and private individuals like Michael and Susan Dell, who have donated $6.25 billion to fund the Trump accounts for 25 million American children. They're great people.
So what he's talking about is it's a Trump accounts are a government created tax deferred investment vehicle designed for US citizens children under 18 established under the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Babies born between January 1st and 2025 and December 31st, 2028 receive a $1,000 treasury deposit. These accounts allow up to $5,000 annual after tax contributions, which grow tax deferred, similar to traditional IRAs. Any U.S. citizen child under 18 can have an account. Contributions are made after tax, but the funds grow tax deferred until withdrawal. Funds cannot be withdrawn before age 18. Upon reaching 18, the account must be converted to an IRA. Is being compared to the 529 plans and regular Roth IRAs. You use a form 4547 to establish it. I'm still reading it. Funds can be invested in these accounts can be invested in eligible mutual funds or exchange traded funds that track a major index. There's no tax deduction for contributions. No withdrawals are allowed. Pre-tax amounts will generally be taxed at the beneficiary's ordinary income tax rate. I wonder if I can tell you this. I don't know if this is helpful for any ordinary family. Like in theory, it's okay, but who has that to just like an ordinary family, right? To just kind of give into. And then they'll be investing those funds on the back end. And if I'm reading this correctly, I was gonna say there's no tax advantages, but according to this, it says that there could be. Some people are saying because it doesn't benefit the parents, but if it benefits the kid, but they said that they were going to take the 1,000 and then and not contribute to it. But the whole point is to kind of on the back end, on the government side, reinvest those funds. Yeah. Someone said basically there is little reward for locking up money for 60 years. It's better to just do the 529, which I agree. All right, guys, we're gonna stop here and then we'll pick back up tomorrow. See you.